Hey Leute, willkommen zurück zu Danganronpa 2. Goodbye Despair.
When Nekomaru's goodnight button is pressed, all of his functions shut down, and he enters sleep mode. If he's in sleep mode, the elevator sensor wouldn't have noticed him, right?
I see. So that's how...
However, even if they moved the elevator in that manner, Nekomaru would have just moved along with it. There would have been no drop for him to fall and die from, yes?
Das Seil.
That's what I was about to explain, before Kazuichi interrupted me. Silence, pest!
Now you're calling me a pest?
You create a drop inside the while Nekomaru is still in it. Das Wire vielleicht. Ist es dabei? Ja.
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the elevator.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
That arrangement is... The hammer is suspicious.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar again?
What about the oil on the floor?
The doorknob on the floor seems suspicious. How about we all shut up and listen to what Chiaki has to say?
Okay, ich weiß es.
Silence, pest!
Don't be so cold. What if I start to enjoy it?
Er ist für Hiko, weil das Ding war ja am Ende so quasi zusammen, quasi, damit man es irgendwo ranhängen konnte. Und das war anscheinend ein Doorknob, deswegen ist es abgefallen.
If you arrange it as you can cause the drop...
So you're telling to think about the arrangement.
That arrangement... The hammer is suspicious.
Isn't it about time?
What about the oil on the floor?
The doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
I
Oh,
agree with that.
okay, ich hab's zum Glück noch weggeschossen.
Didn't the doorknob have scrape marks on it? That might have been where it got scraped by the wire.
Is that the same wire that was tied around Nekomaru?
The tip of that wire was tied into a loop. If the elevator moved while that loop part hung from the doorknob...
If they did something like that, he would have been suspended in midair! That's right. He was suspended in midair. Huh? The killer tied up Nekomaru with the wire while he was in sleep mode. Tied the tip of the wire into a knot, and hung it on the doorknob to the 4th floor. With that, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor of Grape Tower. And suspended Nekomaru in midair.
That's right! He was so well hung! Kinda like...
You better not finish that sentence!
Demonomy.
The killer took advantage of the elevator's unique feature. Only the floor moves. By doing that, they created a drop so Nekomaru could fall to his death.
Too easy.
Ernsthaft?
So what if they created a drop? There's no way you can make him fall and die with just that.
Why?
If Nekomaru is suspended in midair like that, then how do you get him to fall? Because if he's suspended in midair, he won't die if he doesn't actually fall. Even if they suspended Nekomaru from... How would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him off. There's no way they could do that. Even if they suspended Nekomaru from a wire, how would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him off. There's no way they could do that.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. It's possible that he fell on his own.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that to himself. Now's the time if you want to take that. But in that case, you still won't be able to explain the drop. Moving the elevator with Nekomaru inside.
Damn it!
Even if they suspended Nekomaru from a wire.
Was haben wir? Wire? Ich glaube nicht, dass es Wire ist, ehrlich gesagt. Glaube ich nicht. Was hatten wir noch? Ja, auf jeden Fall den Broken Doorknob. Das könnte eigentlich auch gut möglich sein. Was hätten wir sonst? Tipped over Pillar? Das. Oder warte mal. Hatten wir auch noch die das hier?
How would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push it. There's no way they could do that. Even if they suspended Nekomaru, how would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him up. There's no way they could do that.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. It's possible that he fell on his own.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
Allow me to cut through those words. What do you think would happen if Nekomaru woke up while he was suspended upside down in midair?
What are you saying? Like, how would he even wake up?
He has an alarm inside his body. As long as it was armed, it would have deactivated his sleep mode. Which means the killer set the alarm before they suspended Nekomaru.
If you woke up from an alarm and realized you were hanging upside down and had no clue why... If something like that happened to you, you would start panicking a lot, right? Instinctively, your body would start moving. Nekomaru probably did exactly that.
And then, in order to make him fall from the force he was generating, the wire was hung on the tip of the doorknob so it would easily slip off. In actuality, the scrape marks caused by the wire were near the tip of the doorknob, right?
But Nekomaru didn't fall because the wire came off, right?
He fell because the entire doorknob came off.
When Nekomaru awoke, he must have struggled much more than expected, which caused the doorknob to break off.
Was that unexpected for the killer too?
Well, that's probably it. If they knew it'd leave behind evidence like that, they would have at least tried to do something to cover it up.
The killer didn't expect the doorknob to come off. The reason that even happened was because... In that case, I should use my full power. With a fierce roar, Nekomaru put all his power into grabbing the doorknob with both hands, but... Not yet. Here it comes. The incredible strength of 1 million horsepower. Wait, isn't it creaking? If you break off the doorknob, we'll be stuck in here. That's really what it was. Then that's a clue Nekomaru left for us to find.
I see. So that's how Nekomaru fell to his death.
Do you finally understand now?
Yeah. It appears it's just as Miss Sonia said. I'm just a pest. No, I'm not just a pest. I'm a total fucking pig. Isn't that right, Miss Sonia? If I'm a fucking pig, you can say so!
No, I believe you gave your all.
Hey! Why aren't you teasing me anymore?
This guy. He gets off on this!
So thanks to that alarm, Nekomaru ended up falling while he was still hanging upside down. That doesn't mean he just crashed straight into the floor. Of course, you know that too, right?
Doesn't mean Nekomaru crashed straight into the floor. The moment Nekomaru fell to the floor, the only thing I can think of is that what happened.
I see!
Collide with a pillar.
When Nekomaru fell to the floor, he ended up
Deswegen liegt er
colliding
am
with the
Boden.
pillar. Isn't that it?
Finally, the pillar!
So that's how the pillar shattered, and why oil was spilled all over the place.
See, I told you the pillar was the weapon. My gut was totally right.
Well, the pillar was a bonus. It's not even clear if the killer intended that, or if it was just a coincidence.
At this point, it is quite difficult to find a clue that will lead to the killer.
Then what about the alarm? I'm positive the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m. And if we map it out from there...
Hold on, baby gangsta.
Baby gangsta.
Stop calling me baby gangsta!
What'd you just say? Did you say the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.?
You didn't check it yourself? Nekomaru's alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nah, that's impossible. 'Cause even though I slept in a little, I still got to the tower at 7 in the morning.
Now that you mention it, so did I. There was no way I could be late for Monokuma Tai Chi, so I left for Grape Tower before 7 a.m.
And if we found Nekomaru's body there, it would have been before the 7:30 a.m. alarm went off.
It appears yet another contradiction has been birthed. How were you able to discover Nekomaru died at 7:30 a.m. when you went to the tower at 7?
That's what I want to know!
The mystery I don't understand. Seriously, just one after another. I can't choke up at a time like this. Just a little more and I'll be able to reach the truth. There should definitely be a clue for breaking through this contradiction.
We headed for Grape Tower before 7 a.m., I am certain.
But the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nekomaru died because of that alarm, right?
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion.
The killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest. That's gotta be it!
Ah, fuck, ich bin doof. Okay, I think of the killer messed with the clock in Nekomaru's chest and accidentally kind of death got screwed up. Ich wollte... Kann man... Hieß es nicht, dass man das nicht machen kann? Oder habe ich die falsche Uhr ausgewählt?
Damn it!
We headed for Grape Tower before 7 a.m., I am certain.
Ich habe die falsche Uhr
But the
ausgewählt.
alarm inside was set for 7.
Nekomaru died.
His time of death and one of those must...
The killer probably did... They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's...
Ich habe die falsche Uhr ausgewählt.
No, the clock inside his chest was a radio clock, so it would have been impossible to mess with.
So you're saying there's no way the killer could have tampered with the clock?
Maybe the clock Miss Sonia saw was the one that got tampered with.
The clock inside Grape House?
No, I checked all the clocks inside the funhouse.
Oh, that's what I asked you to do. So you really listened to me and checked all the clocks.
And because of that, I can confidently declare that all the clocks had the same time displayed.
If there's no possibility that the time was tampered with, then we must doubt that human's testimony.
Please believe me, we are not lying.
Then maybe it's a misunderstanding?
I never misunderstand. I'll crush you into dog food.
It's temporarily a contradiction. I don't think I should doubt the testimonies. I should doubt the clock. There's no mistake that something was done, but what was it? Perhaps we've overlooked something. Maybe we're misunderstanding something. If I focus and think, I should be able to find the answer to that mystery. Oh yeah, logic dive. Yoo-hoo. Oh, ich hab vergessen zu springen. Ich komme meistens gar nicht an den Dreieckknopf schnell genug hin. Wir müssen nämlich wissen, X ist sprinten und dann Dreieck ist halt springen. What did Hachime and the others misunderstand where the murder happened? The time in the building? The time in the building? Haben wir doch gerade die ganze Zeit gesagt. Oh, Alter. The Buildings Clock. Nekomaru's Radio Clock kann man nicht tampern. Haben wir auch schon festgestellt. Oh. Ich hätte bremsen sollen. Alter, ne? Es ist echt schlimm. Hä? Leute, ich war doch gerade drauf, ne? Das habt ihr doch jetzt gerade selber auch. Manchmal ist es mit dem Springen echt ein bisschen lächerlich, weil an sich ist man eigentlich meistens sogar drauf. Okay, question 3. Great powers. Was? Wie both houses?
It's all coming together! You said you checked all the clocks inside the building. Isn't that right, Fuyuhiko?
Yeah, none of the clocks had the wrong time.
But what if all those clocks have been messed with?
What? All the clocks?
So even if you checked all the clocks inside the building, there's no way you'd have noticed it.
I see. So the killer messed with the time inside the whole building by changing all the clocks.
So that's what it was. There's no way I would have noticed that.
This is truly fantastic!
Now's not the time to be pleased. More importantly, how much was the time off?
She's right, that's the main problem, as you clarified by how much the time was off and after the killer messed with the clocks. That's definitely the next mystery. I'm going to reach the truth in one go.
If the time in the building was all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death was clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be in our time?
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down? If only I heard the sound when he fell. It would have been a great clue.
Or his scream.
He's not the type to let out a scream!
If only Nekomaru's alarm was loud enough, we would have heard it too.
There's no point in saying that. If does not exist in this world.
How much did the killer just the time inside the building? How would I even figure that out?
If the time in the building was all messed up, then we can only rely.
The time of was clearly 7.
The problem is, in our time.
Are there any clues that can be used? If only I heard the sound when he fell.
I agree with that! That's right. We should have heard the sound he made when he fell. Wasn't it that rumbling noise?
Rumbling?
I thought it was just an earthquake, so I went back to sleep. Was that the sound from when Nekomaru fell?
Well, a huge body fell from the 4th floor to the 1st, and the pillar fell with it. It's obvious we'd hear the impact sound.
We heard that noise too.
It was when we were gathered at the Strawberry House Lounge. What is it, Sonia?
Oh, well. That sound everyone heard? I did not hear it at all.
Huh?
You probably didn't hear it because you were sleeping.
I could not sleep at all. I was awake the whole night with hunger pangs.
There's nothing to worry about. What's important is that rumbling noise anyway.
If we use that rumbling sound as a reference, we might be able to figure out how much our time was off.
I heard that sound probably around 5:30 in the morning.
Huh? You can tell?
I instantly woke up and left my room. And that's when I saw the clock in the lounge.
Excellent work, Akane!
How many times we heard it was at 10:30 am? Like the answer. 2 Stunden.
I see! Nekomaru's alarm went off at 7:30, and if we heard the sound of his impact at 5:30, that means our time was off by 2 hours.
2 hours? That much?
We were starving pretty badly. There's no way we would have noticed.
Plus, the funhouse has no windows. And there weren't any Monokuma announcements either.
However, for what reason did the killer alter our perception of time?
The reason is obvious. So they could lure out just Nekomaru.
Lure out only Nekomaru.
If you messed with the clocks and used a specific thing, you definitely get Nekomaru to the tower alone, right? From there, the killer's plan was a splendid success. That's all it means.
That's what with the time, the killer also used a specific thing.
I see!
Okay.
That's it. The killer made use of the Monokuma Tai Chi activity in the morning.
How did they use it?
We were required to go to Great Tower every morning at 7 a.m. for that activity,
Ah, und er
right?
dachte, weil sein Alarm da quasi...
But if they mess with all the clocks inside the building, what would that do to us?
We wouldn't be able to attend on time, but that wouldn't affect Nekomaru. His radio clock had the exact time.
That's right. In doing so, the killer was able to lure him to the tower by himself at the precise time.
Then, when I witnessed Nekomaru early in the morning...
If I recall, you witnessed Nekomaru around 5 a.m. And if that time was also 2 hours off, it should have been 7 a.m. Yeah, that's pretty much it. At that time, he was heading over to Monokuma Tai Chi, right on schedule.
I see. Now that I think about it, I realize what Monokuma meant when he said those words.
Too early! He didn't even ask you yet!
Jeez, how outrageous. I honestly didn't expect everyone to ditch Monokuma Tai Chi. But it turned out like this after all, so I guess it can't be helped.
When you said everyone, you were including us, right?
Nah.
We thought we came to the tower on time, but in truth, it was way past the meeting time.
Ah, jeez! That's, well, how should I put it? What was it? You know, tripping over a foot, or something like that.
Are you talking about tripping over someone else's fault?
Wrong! Too bad!
Liar! I'm right!
That's not it! It's incorrect!
That's definitely the correct answer. You always get so stubborn like this.
Let's just ignore the peanut gallery. Now that we've found out how the killer lured Nekomaru, the number of suspects has drastically decreased.
Hey, why would that decrease the number of suspects? Don't be a friggin' liar!
You'll know I'm not lying when you listen to what Fuyuhiko's going to say next.
Huh? What the hell do you mean?
You witnessed Nekomaru going toward the tower. Did something else happen after that?
Die Uhr.
Are you talking about that alarm?
Alarm?
A little while after I witnessed Nekomaru, the clock in the Strawberry House Lounge started going off.
Okay, gut Leute, wir zeigen noch mal im nächsten Part weiter bei Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair im Class Trial Nummer 4 und ciao.